Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out the new Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Primer, Foundation, and Setting Powder. Oh, I'm so excited. As soon as I saw that she was releasing a new foundation along with primers and the setting powders, I knew I was going to have to try at least the foundation, but when I was making my purchase for the foundation, I couldn't help myself. I also had to purchase the primer and, of course, the setting powder. The only thing that she just released that I did not purchase are a couple of new brushes, I believe, and those I really wasn't interested in, but these I definitely was interested in. So this is what we're going to be wearing today. This is what we're going to be reviewing, and I'm very excited. So before we get started, of course, we have to go over basic information on each individual product. This here is the primer. You get 1 fluid ounce worth of product. It has a shelf life of 12 months, and it retails for $60 US. That kind of hurt a little bit. It hurt a little bit, but let's hope it's a good primer. Now, from what I have read so far, this is not just your typical primer, this is also skincare. So it is infused with hyaluronic acid that is going to help with elasticity and tone. It also includes botanical extracts that are going to help refine the appearance of pores. It is a water-based formula that is going to leave us with a velvety matte finish. I'm all for that. Next comes the foundation. Now this foundation retails for $68 US, so the price is definitely up there. You get 1.18 fluid ounces worth of product. It has a shelf life of 12 months and it comes in 36 different shades. I grabbed the shade Light Medium 13 to try out today, which I found after I swatched it yesterday, I found that it is pretty close to my complexion and I think it's going to work perfectly for today. The description for this foundation does state that it is a sheer to medium coverage type of foundation. So you're supposed to start off very thin and then work your way up to medium in areas that you would like a little bit more coverage on, but you're not going to get full coverage out of this foundation. Now this does include a Vita Serum Complex that is going to help fight the formation of wrinkles. It's also going to help boost hydration by activating the natural production of hyaluronic acid and ceramides on the skin. This formula is also meant to provide us with a healthy looking complexion, and it is going to smooth out the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles while we wear it, which is great. It is also formulated without parabens, talc, oil, or fragrance, which is great for anybody who is sensitive to smells. You're not going to smell anything. Last but not least, we have the setting powder. This retails for $55 US and it comes in 5 different shades. I grabbed the shade Light Medium 2 to try out today. You get 0.17 ounces worth of product and it has a shelf life of 24 months. It is weightless, it is buildable, it is a microfine setting powder that is going to help blur the fine lines and wrinkles that we may have. It is runway tested and mother approved. So I'm excited. Let's get right into all of this. All right, so let's start off with the primer. You're supposed to take a dime size amount of this, or here it comes. That's about a dime, right? And you're gonna take this and start off at the center of the face and then work your way out. Okay, so there it is. I'm gonna let it set for a second before I move on with foundation. Feels really nice and soft on the skin, but it doesn't feel slick or slippery like most primers do. Just like, like silicone, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels really nice and soft and light. Okay, now before I go in with foundation, I'm just going to color correct the under eye area really quickly. And I'm just using my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade Medium to Deep. All right, and I'm just going to do 1 pump for now. This is more of a runny foundation, so it's not thick by any means. I'm going to try to apply it with a brush first. And I'm just going to do one side of my face to begin with. And I do feel like this shade matches me pretty darn well. And I'm actually going to switch over to the sponge. I like the way that this applies foundation a lot more than any of my brushes. I don't know. All right, so this is definitely sheer to medium. It is very, very sheer to medium. You can slowly build it up, which I think is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build it up just a little bit here. See how that looks. So I do have a very thin layer of foundation on my face already, on this half of my face. And I'm trying to build it up just a little right here. I feel like this is the most problematic area for me along the face. All right, so that is certainly sheer to medium, definitely. But I like it. I like the type of coverage that this is providing me with. Not heavy, doesn't look like too much, doesn't look overly done. It looks nice. Now let me go ahead and zoom you all in so that you can get a better idea of what type of coverage I'm getting up close with a before and after. Okay, so this is my skin before, and this is after. All right, now let's move on to the rest of the face and see what it looks like as a whole. Like you can still see that redness right there. You can still see my little spot right here. So it's not covering everything up completely, but it is evening everything out, which I like. I really, really like that. Okay, so now that the foundation's done, I'm just going to conceal the under eye area a little bit before I set everything with a powder. Okay, so there's the under eye area. Now let's move on to the powder. Let me find a brush. Okay, so now let's dip into this powder. Oh, girl, this is gonna be a mess. So it has this little sticker that it comes with, but I'm almost certain that once I take this off, it's gonna start to go everywhere. Ugh. All right, so I had to take everything off anyway. I mean, with these stickers, it's nice to be able to put them back, but once powder gets all over the bottom of the lid or the bottom of the sticker, it's useless. It won't stay in place anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off. I'm gonna grab my tapered face brush. This one is the F25 from Sigma. Just dip it into the powder, and I'm gonna set my face with this. So the foundation, by the way, it does have a nice satin finish. It's not completely matte, so I do feel the need to add powder. All right, so as far as the powder, let's feel it. I have it on my face and it feels really nice. It does feel really, really smooth. It's very, very finely milled. Which is awesome. I love when powders are so fine that they feel so incredibly soft in between your fingers, because then it makes your face feel so incredibly soft all day long. And that is what this is leaving me with, a really, really nice, soft finish. All right, so now that I am done with the base, let me go ahead and take care of the rest of my face, and I will be right back. Okay, so now I am back, makeup is done, and right now I'm really loving this, which I kind of hate because it is so darn expensive, but we'll see how it wears. As of right now though, it feels and it looks so smooth. Up close, far away, everything just looks completely smooth. Granted, it's not full coverage, as you can see right here. I've got a big old blemish just staring at you in the face. I didn't feel like applying any foundation or any concealer there, so I just left it alone. Let it live its best life, which is what I'm going to try to do today. Everything looks good though. I am going to be focusing, like I said, here along the smile lines. I'm also going to be focusing right here on my little 11 that sometimes forms right in between my brows. But so far, I really like everything that I have on my face. So, all right, let's see. It is currently 11:26 in the morning. I do plan on wearing this the entire day. And of course, I am going to be coming back halfway through the day in order to show you all some close-ups and to talk to you all about how everything has been wearing together up to that point. So I will see you all back here in a few hours for my midday check-in. Okay, so now I am back from my midday check-in. It is currently 4:35. So I've had this foundation on now for a good solid 5 hours. Now let me show you all some close-ups so that you can see exactly what I have going on my face with the foundation and the primer and the setting powder after about 5 hours of wear. All right, so this is the situation on the left side of my face. I don't feel like the foundation or anything has really worn off. It still feels really, really comfortable, really lightweight. And I have the exact same situation over here on the right. As far as the forehead, this is definitely not full coverage, which is why you can still see some of my blemishes there. But I feel like it's staying pretty matte. It's staying pretty shine free. I'm not really seeing any kind of dewiness really pop through. I do tend to get pretty oily here along the T-zone, so I was expecting that, but so far I'm still pretty oil free. All right, and around the mouth, I don't feel like my lines are accentuated right now. Yeah, definitely don't see it. And the product has also not settled into Yep, it hasn't settled into my fine lines there either. So that's what I have going on right now, 5 hours in, and I'm still pretty happy with it, but we'll see how we end the day. I do plan on continuing to wear this for about another 3 or 4 hours to give it a full day's worth of wear. So I will see you all back here at the end of the night for my final thoughts on everything that I have in front of me, Pat McGrath. I'll see you guys in a few. Okay, so now I am back from my final check-in. It is currently 7:44. So I've had these products on now for a little over 8 hours. Now, before I go into my overall thoughts on everything, I'm going to zoom you all in one last time so that you can take a look at the products on my face after about a little over 8 hours of wear. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the left side. This is what it currently looks like. I don't think much has changed from my midday check-in. It still looks really nice on the skin. And this is the current situation over on my right side. Here is the forehead. I don't feel like this has made me excessively dewy. However, I don't feel completely matte. So I do see a little bit of shine, but nothing too severe. All right, and this is the situation around the mouth. I don't see any product that has collected here or here. And I also don't think that this has accentuated my smile lines at all. All right, so now that you've seen everything up close, let's cover every single product and what my thoughts are on everything. And now let's start off with the primer. The primer I felt was good. I don't know if that helped the foundation stay in place and look great throughout the entire day, but I really like the primer. I am gonna continue to use it. The only thing that I can say about it is that for $60, the packaging is kind of a letdown. Like, you know, the foundation, sturdy packaging, it is quite heavy, frosted bottle, pump, everything feels very luxury, looks very luxury, definitely seems like something that I would be paying $68 for. However, the primer, although the contents are really nice, just feels kind of cheap, you know? That's like my only complaint. Yeah, it has a pump and everything, but it's just like this, I don't know, like generic plastic bottle, and they just like stuck a sticker on it and then they called it done. So that's the only complaint that I have about the primer, but it wore nicely underneath my foundation and it didn't, you know, didn't break up. I don't know if perhaps using them together made the foundation look great and stay in place all day, but yeah, that's my only complaint about the primer. So I will continue to use it, but just I don't like the packaging very much. All right, now let's talk about the foundation. Like I said, the packaging does feel very, very sturdy. It feels very, very luxury. Like I paid $68 for this. It feels that way. I appreciate the fact that it comes with a pump, certainly helps. I love that. Now, as far as the formula, I like the way that it wore. It didn't make me excessively oily, even though it does have ingredients that are supposed to be hydrating and good for the skin, which I absolutely appreciate in any product. I don't feel like it made me oily. It stayed looking really nice the entire day. However, the only thing that I would say is that it is certainly sheer to medium. medium-ish, medium-ish, I would say. Just depending on who you are, depending on your preference. Certain people, you know, will say that this is definitely medium or it definitely builds up to medium. I would say that, yeah, I consider it to build up to a light medium. But depending on your personal preference, you might think that this is not enough coverage. You might think that, you know, it's not doing enough to cover up any imperfections that you may want to cover up. So just make sure that you go into a Sephora, you ask for a sample, and then that way you can wear it and see whether or not it builds up to your, you know, preference. And then if it does, you can make the $68 purchase, because it is up there when it comes to price. And I kind of was a little surprised that it's a $68 sheer to medium foundation. I just, I don't know. I don't know how I felt about that. After I read it, I was like, well, that's it. You're paying a lot of money and you're only going to give me like very little coverage. I don't know how I feel about that, but now that I've worn it, I'm perfectly fine with it. I actually really like the way that it looks. I like the way that it wore on me, so I will continue to use it. I'm not returning this at all. I'm still happy with the purchase that I made as far as the foundation and the primer. The setting powder. I actually like all three products together. I feel like they worked really well on my skin. I feel like they looked really, really nice. The only issue that I had with the setting powder was the sifter. There's like no cover. There's no cover for this. So unless I'm keeping this like, you know, right side up on my vanity and I'm not doing anything else with it, then sure, it's gonna be fine. Why not? You know, it's not gonna go all over the place. But let's say that I'm traveling and I'd like to take this with me. Girl, forget it. It is going to go all over the place, because the sifter is just like this mesh, you know, and the powder comes out through it, but there's no cover. So I really appreciated the Fenty powder, the setting powder, because that did come with like an additional little lid so that you can just put that on and then you put the lid back on, and that way your powder doesn't end up going everywhere when you take it back out and you take the lid off. But this doesn't have that, so I think it's just going to be sitting nice and pretty on my vanity so that I don't make a mess the next time that I open it up. However, I really liked it. It's very, very silky smooth. It is very finely milled, and it just feels really nice on the skin. It feels really nice on the face. I like all three products. I just have an issue with the packaging on the powder and the primer. The foundation, it is very sheer to medium, light medium, depending on who you are. And you can certainly tell that it's light medium or medium coverage, because I made the mistake of using my Tarte Shape Tape, which, as most of you know, it is very full coverage. That is a full coverage concealer. And you can certainly see where the concealer ends right here, and then where the foundation begins down underneath it. So I don't know if you all can tell, but I know that I noticed it halfway through the day and I was like, oh yes, right here is full coverage concealer, and then, you know, medium, light medium coverage foundation down here. So next time that I use it, I might reach for a different concealer. But yeah, listen, learn. So those are my thoughts on the new Sublime Perfection collection from Pat McGrath. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video review and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where I absolutely love to interact with you all. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.